when you're advocating for Black and Latino students to go to other universities, what you're talking about is reinstituting separate and unequal educational opportunities.
Excuse me, Ms. Dreyer, you can continue to put words in my mouth if you wish. That doesn't matter, it's irrelevant. You can continue to say things I have not said if you wish. But the fact of the matter is, folks, her solution is more management. I'm gonna get down to the brass tacks here, folks. What she wants to do is manage your prosperity because she apparently doesn't like prosperity, doesn't like capitalism, doesn't like honor, doesn't like respect. So she wants you to think of yourself as a minority instead of a majority and incapable. I know you're incapable, folks. I graduated from this school before, affirmative action. But let's look at the statistics, though. You know, I have statistics here. She said I'm lying. I knew she was going to call me a lie. Why they can't just call your names? So I have here all of the facts of everything I've said before. So if you want to come and get them after the debate, great. But I'm going to leave them right here for you, those of you who wish to see them. The fact of the matter is, though, that Black people on this college campus had better be prepared to compete in this country. And I want you to understand something. I want you to compete. I want you to dominate.
Ms. Driver.
So just very quickly, the change in admissions, for instance, at Bolt Hall, went from 1% minority student enrollment in 1966 to 9% in 1971 because of the establishment of affirmative action programs. There's no question about when the programs were established and the impact that they had. What's happened with the end of affirmative action is a significant drop in underrepresented minority students. And the students that are here are asked to justify their being here more than ever before. We've got to change the terms of debate and tell the truth. This is about the fight for equality. This is about whether California is not just going to be a multiracial, multicultural state. It's a question of whether it's going to be a state with equal opportunity for all, able to benefit and enjoy the real prosperity of multiculturalism.
Yes, my name is Tanya Kapner, and I'm a public school teacher in Oakland, and I would like to address Ms. Driver with a two-part question, because I think that Mr. Weaver made his agenda clear when he spoke for vouchers, which is the elimination of the right to public education. And as a public school teacher, as an organizer for students' right to an education, I believe fundamentally, along with Ms. Driver, in the right to an equal quality education, and the students in Oakland are working twice as hard to get half as much recognition. So I will address my question to Ms. Driver, understanding that shameless opportunists like Mr. Weaver and Mr. Connerly, who is suing a desegregation plan right now, come a dime a dozen. Ms. Driver, I am angry.
I bet her kids go to private schools.
Ms. Driver, could you please?
I bet her kids go to private schools.
Excuse me, I believe I am asking my question, Mr. Weaver.
If I'm not to a question, you need to know what you're doing.
Mr. Weaver, I believe I am asking my question to Ms. Driver right
I
now.
will not be lectured by a socialist teacher. Ask your question.
I would like to ask Ms. Driver, because I believe that she can respond to the students who are righteously angry about their opportunities being denied, to please elaborate, because our students' futures are at stake here in this real world, on two things. One, the history of the fight for affirmative action as something that was won, not given as a handout, but won through our own power. And two, you referred earlier to the building of a new civil rights movement. Can you please speak more on what is happening with that and why it is so necessary in order to achieve integration? Thank you.
Ms. Driver, 2 minutes.
Really quickly. Affirmative action programs were won. They were won out of student struggles. They were won out of the struggle of the civil rights movement. They were a change. They were the implementation of a change in the direction of this society. The laws, the practices, the expectations. And they came out of the civil rights movement that stood and demanded that Black and Latino and Native American and women and poor white people be given equal opportunity and equal prospects for success in this society. It came out of that movement. It wasn't university administrations or politicians deciding to give anybody anything. The struggle for equality in this society is always a struggle around power. And the defense of affirmative action has resided in building a new civil rights movement of young people, in particular under the leadership of young Black and Latino students that have stood and fought. When we went to the Supreme Court in 2003, every legal expert told us we couldn't win on affirmative action. Everyone said we were going to lose. Everyone said there was no way that that conservative Supreme Court would ever uphold programs that open the doors of universities for the first time to the majority of Americans that had been denied the right to attend the public universities of their states. We won at the Supreme Court. And we won because 50,000 students turned out. They were at the court. You could hear their voices ringing in the court the day they heard those arguments. And that Supreme Court knew it was dangerous to overturn affirmative action, that it would spark a social movement that could bring and bust open again everything in this society. And in all honesty, that's what we did.
Stand up timer, time it over 15 seconds ago. You know, folks, the idea, the notion that affirmative action demonstrators force the Supreme Court to do anything is insane. But let's talk about Berkeley, because the other side, I always talk about the enrollment at Bolt Hall after affirmative action ended. Would you like to know the real facts? Wouldn't it be fascinating to know the real facts? The fact of the matter is that the decline in the state at Bolt Hall increased, so you don't really know what color they were when we went there. But more importantly, the number of Blacks on the campus wide increased after affirmative action was ended here. Now, she won't tell you that, but if you don't, ma'am, look around the room, for God's sake, open the eyes up. You know, now, look around the room. Want to see Black folks here? Gee whiz, man, you're blind and crazy. Also, the idea that Black means poverty, the idea that Black means poverty, let me explain something to you. 75% of Black people live above the poverty level. 45% of Black people own their own homes. The increase in jobs and businesses is increasing at an explosive rate. What we don't need is more of master's programs. Master's programs always help themselves to us. I reject affirmative action, and to that socialist teacher from Oakland, whose children probably goes to private schools, I want to say publicly and enthusiastically, yes ma'am, I want to end public education the way it is now. I want to end it. I want to put you out of work. I want to make you unemployed. You are killing our kids, and you are debasing our community. You are the enemy.
Driver, you have a 1-minute rebuttal.
Very quickly, obviously there's been a drop in underrepresented minority students on this campus. It's a lie to say otherwise, and it is, Mr. Weaver, a lie to say otherwise. The facts are there, the statistics are in. It's ridiculous to think and insult this audience's intelligence by telling Latino and Black students here that what they know to be true and which is backed by statistics didn't happen.
Mr. Weaver.
No, I'm a liar, so what I got to say? You know, folks, the matter is, I will, if anybody here want to do more study than shouting, this is not a hip-hop party, folks. This is education here. So if anybody here want to do more study, I suggest you walk over across the hall, Monday to Sprawl Hall, and you ask them. And you ask them. You ask them. And your anger, you know, folks, be angry at me if you wish. I don't really care. You be upset if you wish, but check out yourself.